Good evening, everyone. I'm Karsten Hartel, and I've worked with Karel for over 35 years, managing the fish collection that he loves so much. Karel meant a lot to me. He taught me a lot of things, allowed me to do a lot of things, and I'll never forget that. Tonight, we're going to hear from 4 of Karel's first graduate students. They're going to say what he meant to them.
Hi, I'm George Lauder. I'm currently a professor at Harvard University, and I'd like to welcome you to this video tribute to Professor Karel Liem.
Hi, I'm Joe Levine. I had the good fortune to be a graduate student of Karel's from 1975 to 1980.
I'm Dana Ono. I was a graduate student of Karel's from 1975 to 1981.
Hi, I'm Phil Lobel. I was a student with Karel from 1975 to 79. The video that we're about to see a few clips from was filmed in 2002 and happened to be sort of a serendipitous occasion of talking to Karel about his teaching and the adventures in his academic life.
I grew up in Indonesia until I was, 23 years old. I was always surrounded by nature, of course. I was really interested in plants and trees and lizards, and monitor lizards. I would catch things myself and keep it at home. I have little cages that I built myself and have my favorite different kind of lizards. I was probably 7 years old then. That was during the Japanese occupation. So I always was very much in tune with nature. We had flying lizards going from one tree to another all the time. We had lots of snakes. We have that go right into your kitchen and into your bedroom. And I had an extremely good high school teacher, and he taught biology in a way that really excites you. So I got deeply interested in biology because of the high school teacher. It was really a biology course in biodiversity, which is very unusual. So you got extra good grades for having the biggest collection, plants and animals. Me and several other people got into the rice fields around Bandung. And we carried a light, a lantern to attract frogs. I also ran across a migrating event of an organism that I did not know. And it was an elongate organism without any appendages. I had no idea what it was. But we had just gotten a new professor, Dr. Roger W. Barber. I showed him this thing, this group of animals, and I asked him what it was. And he looked at it and said to me, "You got it all wrong. In the United States, students do not ask a professor what an organism is. They will tell him what it is." So I got my PhD in 1961 from the University of Illinois. And then came a crisis. My parents had to flee Indonesia, went to the Netherlands. The fact that I was partially Dutch and Chinese was about the worst combination to be in Indonesia at that time. And I did manage to escape to the Netherlands after my PhD. I had to travel illegally by being a stowaway on a Dutch ship. I managed to slip in and spend the first maybe 12 hours in the toilet. When the ship started, and I knew it started because I basically got seasick right away, and I got out and announced myself that I was a stowaway. The captain had told me that I was going to be arrested in Rotterdam. If you think of any police in the world, who would you choose to be arrested by? And there would be no question that you would rather be arrested by the Dutch police than any other police force. So I did land a job rather quickly in Dullemeyer's laboratory, which was world famous for morphology, especially functional morphology. He looked at my papers that came out and my PhD thesis that was in press, and he appointed me very quickly as a assistant professor. So I started my career really at the University of Leiden in the Netherlands, not entirely by plan, but by circumstances. And I think we are now at the point, where do I go from here? I would like to, that's only a wish, it's not a goal yet, is to produce a magnum opus on the fish skulls. Something that Gregory has done so long time ago, so successfully. It's so out of date to have something in that category, with that kind of thrust, but then modern.
Karel was just wonderful in many of the things that he did. He loved fishes, he loved anatomy, and he just loved to ask the questions. And right up and virtually until a month before he died, I brought a strange fish up to him, and he spent 20 minutes looking at it and said, "I just don't understand the deep sea."
Karel shaped my life by sharing with me 3 of his remarkable gifts. First, his incredible passion for knowledge and incredible passion for sharing that knowledge with students, and he cared about the students deeply. In my life, I've never met anyone of his stature who cared as much about teaching and students as Karel did. Karel also had an incredible sense of humor, like the time he put one of those noisemakers in the tailpipe of my brand new car, my first as a graduate student, so it sounded like it was falling apart when I turned it on. And Karel also had an incredible ability to embrace and encourage all different kinds of people to do all different kinds of things, even if it meant that we weren't following the career path that he took. And that worked for Karel because it wasn't a strategy, it really came from his heart.
Karel was a huge inspiration to helping us understand the emergence of all the controversies of biology, systematics, behavior, and ecology. And at the same time, sociobiology was emerging. Cladistics and the theory of how we classify animals was also being reinvented.
There was never a dull moment in Karel's lab for the 6 years that I was in there. Karel's irreverent sense of humor and his comedic sense of timing rendered itself nicely to make him an effective communicator and a superb teacher.
Karel was, of course, very well known for his practical jokes, many of which I am proud to say I participated in. However, I can only relate a very few of those practical jokes because having them on videotape permanently would jeopardize my position as a faculty member here at Harvard.